we do represent New Cycle Trading and Analytics. They are the creators of the adaptive entry system. We've been using the second generation of New Cycle Trading's market analytics here now since July, and I think it was June, and we're just pretty excited. I'm personally very excited about how it's working. In fact, I'm going to jump right now into sharing some of the results, and then we're going to go through an analysis of today's performance in the live trading room, and I'm going to show you how we translate that into a financial forecast for an individual trader's business. So the numbers you see in front of you are from July 6th through September 8th, yesterday, when we started to focus on specific categories of tracking the performance of the adaptive entry system. So there are two primary categories that we track. There are several that we actually track, but two primary that then we focus on in terms of translating it into a full year 12-month income forecast for individual traders. So for traders who prefer to trade a limited amount of time during the day, for your benefit and to help you understand what is possible during that period of time, we track taking all of the adaptive entry system signals from 9:30 to noon. All signals means that we're taking trend bias trades, we're taking continuation trades, we're taking consensus trades, and we're taking momentum trades. So those are the four primary signals that we trade. There are a couple of other things that we do in the live trading room, but those are the four core signals that comprise the adaptive entry system. So if you had been trading for the last 61 days and tracking right along with us, 9:30 to noon, taking each signal, on the NASDAQ 100 futures, which is what we use to profile AES, and I'm going to pause here just for a minute. The adaptive entry system can be used on gold, oil, S&P 500, Russell 2000, stocks. Can be used on anything you decide to trade, because all it's doing is interpreting the market of that underlying derivative or stock, and it's suggesting to you what the most immediate movement direction is likely to be. So we've picked the NASDAQ 100 futures to profile in the live trading room because we want some level of consistency for our community of traders to show how it works. We have a lot of traders who do trade the NASDAQ 100 futures, and then we track the performance of that and report on it at the end of every day. So if you were trading the NASDAQ 100 futures 9:30 to noon, you're averaging 22.59 points a day. Now the NASDAQ 100 is valued at $20 per point per contract. So if you're trading a single contract, just one contract, a minimum quantity that you can trade, you're averaging about $451.80 a day of profit. Now that's an average over 61 days. And there's 20 trading days to a month, so that's about 3 months. So if you take those numbers then, and I'm going to show you here in just a minute what it looks like, you take those numbers and you translate them into the tool that we've created here at Options Moneymaker called the Personal Trading Plan, which provides a 12-month income forecast for your business. If we plug that performance into the Personal Trading Plan, the 12-month income forecast is an income of approximately $257,000. Okay, so just a little bit over that. That is assuming that you start with $5,000. So $5,000 to just over $257,000 over the course of 12 months. Now, the second category that we profile for the purpose of building a income forecast is assuming from 7 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern. And it assumes that we're taking the trend bias trades. That's one of the four primary signals that the adaptive entry system offers. And in addition to that, we're taking the continuation signals. So a continuation signal is all aligned with the trend. So you're in a trend position, you're taking a profit on it, and then you have an opportunity to rejoin the trend by taking a continuation trade. So if you traded from 7 to 4 for the last 61 days, 61 trading days, The average point production per day is 33.87 points. At $20 a point, that's an average of $677.40 of profit per day on a single contract. So that 12-month forecast, if that run rate were to continue for 12 months, it's about a $364,000 income, again, starting with $5,000. So if you're not familiar at all with the personal trading plan, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually update today's performance. So I'm going to pull this up here. So today is September 9th, 2020, and this is the end of day performance for the NASDAQ 100 based on the signals that we highlighted and profiled in the live trading room today. So here is the list of all the trades that were taken. We log every single trade, and I'm starting at 7 a.m. here. We log every single trade, and we generally cut off somewhere around 3:30. Leave the last half hour of the market alone. And we're recording every single trade, whether we went short or long, the strategy, a consensus, a trend, a momentum, a continuation, which is the T+, and then we record the profit or loss value. So you can see here that we had some losing trades, and we just move beyond the losing trades and we just continue to take the signals. Once you become familiar with and comfortable with the signals, that will just kind of be a natural state of doing business for you. So there's a couple things I want to share with you here. We'll go back to the daily summary, which shows our 9:30 to 12 category. We ended up doing 30 points today. That's $20 a point, 7 trades. And today on our 7 to 4 category, where we're only taking the trend bias trades and the continuation trades, we actually lost 17.25 points. But there's something very telling here that I want to share with you. We talk a lot about this in the live trading room, that by using the personal trading plan, which I'm going to jump to here in just a minute, it gives you a guide for what your personal goal is. If you owned a small business, you would have some sort of a goal of what type of a profit you want to make out of that business. And in order to achieve your goal for a 12-month period, you have to have a breakdown that tells you, well, if I made X number of points today and I continue at that run rate for a 52-week period, then that projects out for me how much I could make over 12 months. So the reason I'm emphasizing that is because there are moments during the trading day where you might have already achieved your goal. Sometimes, some days, offer you that opportunity very early in the day. And if you continue to trade, you have one of two possible outcomes. Outcome number one is you might make more. You might make more, and that's always a good thing. Option number two, outcome number two possibility is you might give back all of your profits and you might actually lose for the day. So today was really a great example because we had, actually yesterday and today were both really great examples. By 4 o'clock today, 7 a.m. to 4, we were down 17.25 points. But in that same in the all category, if we had taken 7 to 12, we were up 47.75 points. Now, if we had, let me just jump over here, just a second here. Seven to 4, trend bias only is 41 points. So what we're doing here is we're comparing what our overall performance is from different time frames. So we can look at 9 to 11:30, we can look at 7 to noon, we can look at 9:30 to noon, and what we see frequently is that we have point production early in the day that gives us an opportunity to hit our goal, our profit goal for the day. And if we continue to trade, we frequently give that back. Now, I track every trade. In reality, I wouldn't be taking every trade in my live account because once I hit a certain goal, I'm going to stop. but I track every trade so that we build a database of trades and we understand what the overall performance of these trades is. So I'm going to go to the trading plan. The two categories that we track are 9:30 to noon, taking all signals. So we're going to go down to Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. And we ended up today doing 30 points of production. And so 30 points at $20 a point is $600. But our trading plan helps us understand, based on the growth of the account, how many contracts to trade. And so we're up to 3 contracts. So $600 per contract times 3 is, we made $1,800 today. Okay. Spreadsheet's just catching up here. Just hold on a second. Okay. And we took 7 trades to achieve those 30 points. And 7 trades at 3 contracts per trade is 21 contracts. So now what we've done is we put in our gross profit, we've put in our number of contracts that we traded, and we now have allocated expense to today. And so we know that our net profit for the day was $1,716. Now the most important part, after you plug that in, is to go up here to the top of the spreadsheet and understand what is our run rate. So run rate is an average of your daily performance. And I have it broken down between an average of our winning days versus an average of our losing days, because we do have losing days. We need to be honest, we need to be realistic when we're putting together a 12-month plan that we are in fact going to have losing days, but we can still build a financial forecast with those losing days in there. So our average winning day, which is assumed to be on an average 4 days out of every 5 trading days. Our average winning day is 27.7 points. Sorry, 27.77 points. Our future forecast for all days yet to be traded out in the future over a 52-week period, we have it planned at 27.70. So I'm going to change that to 27.77. And our losing days are averaging 22.78 points on the losing days. And we have our losing days planned at 23.3. Now, this 22.78 also factors in how many losing days we've had in the time frame that we are already have behind us. So it assumes in the forecast that we're going to have 1 losing day every 5 days, 5 trading days. In this case, we've actually had 14 losing days in 9.5 weeks. So we're slightly ahead of our forecast in terms of the frequency of losing days. And so this number actually takes into account not only the average of the losing days, but also the number of days relative to the number of weeks that have already accrued. So our average loss is 22.78. We have our forecast based on 23.3. We're going to change that to 22.78. And so this way we have our going forward forecast based entirely on what our actual averages are. And then based on a 3 contract max, having started with 1 contract and allowing the account to grow before we add more contracts, that tells us that we could potentially, as of today, have a $259,000 income over a 12-month period with almost 10 weeks under our belt. So we've got a little over 42 weeks left, and right now, based on the current run rates, if we continue to operate at that run rate, our income could potentially be just under $260,000, and that was starting with a $5,000 balance in the account. The second category that we track, which I mentioned to you, is the trend bias and continuation trades. And in that category, we lost 17.25 points because we traded all day. If we had stopped earlier in the day, we were actually positive. But I'm tracking for the entire day, and I think it's good to emphasize that you can frequently achieve your goal, your trading plan goal, earlier in the day, and then if you quit, you don't run the risk of giving back your profits. So 17.25 at $20 a point is $345 loss, but we're trading 3 contracts. So today we had a $1,035 loss, and we traded 16 trades. So 16 trades at 3 contracts a trade is 48 contracts. Okay, once again, we go up to the top of our worksheet into our header. Our average winning days are averaging 34.17. Our future forecast is based on 34.15, so I'm just going to change that, just a minor tweak there. And our losing days are planned at 18.41, but they are averaging 18.64, and we really are right on pace in terms of losing days, the frequency of losing days. So I'm going to increase that just slightly just to make sure that we are perfectly aligned. 18.64 based on a 3 contract max, $361,000 is the potential income. That potential forecasted income is saying that if we continue to operate at this run rate, which is a combination of both winning days and losing days, that we could potentially, over the course of 12 months, having maxed out at 3 contracts, earn $361,000. So this is why, in my opinion, after having traded for 35 years myself, having a financial forecast that tells us on a daily basis where we are going, where we may end up in terms of income, that is absolutely critical in my opinion. So one last thing I'll show you here. This is a list of all the averages. Now I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here in this session, but this is a list of all the averages of the different categories that we track. We've actually got some categories where we're tracking starting at 3 a.m. Eastern time. We've got other categories that start at 9, 7, 9, 9:30. And then we've also got a breakdown between all signals, all 4 signals, maybe trading just the momentum signals, trading the trend bias plus the continuation signals, etc. And we've got some other categories that we're in the process of researching. Bottom line is we've now got 62 days, 62 trading days, which is over 3 months under our belt in terms of building data. And we're now able to actually stack rank what the most productive categories are. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on this right now, but the most productive category is trading from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., all signals. The average point production per day over a 62-day period is 72 points. And the number of negative days is 4. There have been 4 losing days out of 62 trading days. That, to me, is huge. Now, there is one category that has one less negative day, but it starts at 3 a.m. I'm not including anything that starts prior to 7 a.m. in my evaluation. So to only have 4 losing days over 62 days is huge in my book, and then an overall win rate of 72.5%. So that's the optimum producing category. 2 of the other categories that are in the top 3 are the categories that we track. So those are the 3 primary categories that we're paying attention to right now. And so that's it. That's the summary for today's performance in the live trading room.